I'm Bluefinger. Welcome to the Blue Messenger Show. Okay, welcome everyone to the first episode of the Blue Messenger, and I'm the messenger, Bluefinger. And we're going to be discussing interesting topics that are going on, and try to get different perspectives of the actual topics, the issues, the events, as well as a more broader perspective of the meaning and what's behind those events and what you can gather as a lesson from the sequence of events, their impact, what we should get from them, basically. And we're going to start today with the recent fires in Greece. Lately, Greece has been in the news for some fantastic fires they've got going, and last I saw it was 70 people burned alive, and the fire's still going, from what I understand. Plus, it's still live caption on YouTube, so it's still happening. But I tell you what, I'll let you listen to the story, and then we'll come back. Okay, and we'll take it from there.
As strong winds and very dry ground helped fuel the fires, a second major blaze broke Monday afternoon in areas northeast of Athens. This was to be the most devastating of the flames. The fire started, and within 20 minutes it was out of the borders of Penteli and had reached Neos Foutsas. After that, it was a matter of minutes, not hours, for the fire to reach the sea. Dozens of homes and cars were destroyed. The speed the fire spread took many by surprise. I was at the porch with the kids, and the fire started. Within 3 minutes it exploded and it reached the house. The winds were very high, 10 feet, maybe more. I managed to get the kids and leave the house. Northeast of Athens, the flames were blown from village to the coastal town of Mati, destroying everything in its path in a matter of moments. The flames crossed the hills and the gorges within minutes. This is Marathonos Avenue that connects the area with Athens. The fire crossed the street within a few seconds. There was nothing that could stop its way to the sea. Many people ran into the sea to escape on boats, but not everyone made it.
Okay, so that was the story of the fire, the recent fire, the fires that are going on right now in Greece. And as you can tell from the story, the fires are overwhelming. The people are overwhelmed. You have over 70 burned alive so far, and they're still counting because the story is still going on. In the light of that, I want to take us into phase 2, which I have a YouTube article. And I say article because there's a video, but then there's some typed information below the actual YouTube video. I didn't want to take the time to show the whole video because it gets extensive and it gets pretty graphic also. So I'm just going to read the information that was provided by the person that posted the video, which was RT. Okay. The title of the video is Sex, Drugs, and Refugees. Syrian boys resort to prostitution to survive in Athens, Greece. Okay. It says, as night falls in Athens, the city's squares turn seedy and middle-aged European men can be seen chatting with teenage Syrian boys, a seemingly odd pairing of friends. Many of these youngsters are refugees who have resorted to selling themselves for as little as 10 euros just to eat. Some also choose drug peddling and petty theft to survive. With no official documents or help from Greece's immigration authorities, they are stranded in this horrific life. To escape, some consider abandoning their dream of living in Europe, and others even contemplate suicide. Okay. This story is dated. It was published February 26, 2018, and as I said before, today is July 26, 2018. So this isn't something that happened years ago and I'm just now digging it up to talk about it. No, this is happening right now. So we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and we're going to dig deeper because I have some historical information, some historical, statistical, factual information that might be very interesting to some of the listeners, if not all, and shed some light on this whole strange picture that's starting to evolve around Greece. Okay, so bear with me for just a while and we'll be right back with more. All right, so here we go. What I have for you is an article from, who's these guys? The Independent, which is an article, a newspaper, UK, okay? And there was an article posted, a story posted, and the title of it was A Brief Cultural History of Sex. Okay. Now just bear with me because I think it'll all start coming together as I read along here. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to read the beginning and up through the parts that are pertinent to our story here. Okay. So this is the very beginning of this story. This story is dated Tuesday, September 23rd, 2008. Okay. So this was then that it was written. Okay. And remember, it's July 26th, 2018. Okay. So here we go. Like I said, the title of the story is A Brief Cultural History of Sex. Okay. And it starts out, the first subsection of this story, the first chapter, so to speak, is let's start with the Greeks. The Greeks. Isn't that where the fire is? Okay, anyway. Let's start with the Greeks. Aphrodisiac, eroticism, homosexuality, narcissism, nymphomania, pederasty. All these terms are derived from the language of ancient Greece, which tells you something about its society. Remember, I didn't write this, okay? The myths of Homer and Plutarch told stories such as that of Aphrodite, goddess of sexual intercourse, who emerged from the foaming semen of her father's castrated testicles. Y'all writing this down? All right. Then there were the mortal heroes, such as Hercules, who it is said ravished 50 virgins in a single night. But he wasn't through yet. Who also had an affair with his nephew, Laius, and fell in love with sweet Hylas, he of the curling locks, as he was described. From the early 6th century to the early 4th century, the culture of pederasty flourished in Athens, with adult men taking adolescent boys to serve as their lovers. Although how much physical sex actually happened is a matter of some debate. Women in ancient Greece were generally the property of men and rarely enjoyed the exalted status of the young homosexual partner. But we know that there was a strong culture of female prostitution, with the most successful courtesans often wielding power and wealth, and with brothels paying a state tax on their profits. Neglected wives found ways to satisfy their desires. Lesbians, called tribades, certainly existed, and the culture is associated most particularly with the island of Lesbos, where burning Sappho loved and sung. There are also plenty of literary references to the use of dildos, which in ancient Greece were made of padded leather and anointed with olive oil before use. It's a little too much information. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I'm almost afraid to go any further. But I think I've laid the groundwork for where we're going with this. And remember, this is not a new article, and all of this stuff is documented in history. And I think that that's important, because nothing happens for nothing. I believe that. I staunchly believe that. And whatever is happening right now is happening for a reason, whether it was for something that is for something that we did yesterday or for something that we earned from 2,000 years ago. Everything happens for a reason. And that's actually the moral of today's talk. Okay, so don't go nowhere. All right, we're back. Thank you for rejoining or never leaving, hopefully. I'm the Blue Messenger, Blue Finger, and we've had a very interesting culmination of information / facts surrounding a recent story and ongoing story of fires in and around the Athens, Greece area. Okay, so far, a little less than 100 people have been killed by the fires, and the fires are still being fought and still raging, chasing people into the sea. That's how bad it is. Okay, and but it's more to this, I think, than you might get just from the news agencies and the mass media. If you have any sort of connection with the rules of life and quote unquote the way it goes, then you'll see more in this story than just a fire in Greece. So what we've put together here on the show, and this is basically a summary of what we've done, but to try to come to some sort of conclusion that would be beneficial to the listener and to the ponderer, to the contemplator of what's going on around them. Okay, so we know we have the fire in Greece, And we also know that there's been stories